This week's going to be all about one thing in particular, so a little bit unusual in that respect, but it's going to be all about putting HPL or Formica laminate on the galley and heads worktops, and it's something I like to use because it's nice and easy to fit, and it's relatively cheap, and it's hard wearing, lasts a long time. There's an off-cut of the stuff. It's sort of the one I've chosen is a, as you see, a blue-grey sort of colour. I say chosen, but actually here in Germany this stuff is very hard to get hold of, or at least that was my experience. And in fact I had to order this. I bought this on eBay from a supplier in Scotland who shipped it out to me, a roll, 8x4 roll, big roll of the stuff, enough to do both the worktops and have a bit left over. So obviously you've got various options of what you want to put on your worktops, and there's a 2-pack epoxy that you can pour over there. You could just have varnish wood, you could tile it all over. A lot of people frown on tiles in a boat, but I find, as I say, I find Formica or the like perfect for this application. If that's the way you're going, first choice, of course, first decision is how to cut the stuff. And in the past, I've always used a Stanley knife, which is one of these things. Come in close on that, Kerry. I don't know what they're called around the world. I call that a Stanley knife. You may call it something different. But this is the wrong blade. That's a carpet cutting blade. You need the normal straight blade. They cut it very nicely. Involves going over it a few times till it all the way through. Equally, you could use, what I call an X-Acto knife, and I know elsewhere is called a box cutter. I've no idea what our Australian friends call them. Run over it a few times, cuts it, but the danger, you do have two dangers. Well, both dangers involve slipping. If you slip, obviously you're using a straight edge of some sort, hopefully something a bit bigger than that one, you run along the straight edge, but if it slips, you end up scratching your Formica. Other danger, of course, is to slip and embed it in your hand. So I wanted to find or look into other ways of cutting it. This is the way I've always done it in the past, by the way, with a Stanley, and it does come out fine. But quick look at YouTube, they're a marvellous resource, and I see people cutting them on table saws and with scissors, and that got me thinking. And so I decided, well, firstly, my table saw is covered in clutter, but there's quite a big gap around the blade, and I didn't think that would be ideal. This side's good, nice and close, but that side's got a bit of a gap there. I didn't think it would be ideal for cutting such a thin laminate, so I decided to give it a go with the little Bosch saw that you've seen me using a million times, and it cut quite well. First of all, I cut it from the top, the actual finished surface. It does chip a little bit. In fact, if you're getting close there, Kerry, you can see a bit that's particularly bad cut from the top. So then we tried turning it over and cutting it from the bottom, which gives you a much cleaner finish. Works fine, cuts fine. It makes a bit of a weird noise. And then after that I went for scissors, and I cut it for scissors. So in the end I went for a combination of this little Bosch saw and scissors. What you've got to remember is that you want to cut, obviously length has got to be cut correctly, but the width or anything that's overhanging or coming up to an overhanging edge, you want to cut too big. So you glue it on too big and then you trim it off in position. So the fact that that is a bit chipped at the edge there didn't matter, because you're cutting it a good 2 centimetres, an inch even, too big, and that'll be able to be trimmed off later. So cut it up carefully. Involves a lot of careful measuring, marking out, and trying it in position, really. centimetres, good. Just stay right there, I want to mark which end we're going to take 8 centimetres on. Good. But not on this end. Most cleverest thing to do is for once you pull under there, you just support the edge as best you can.
Yeah.
And then to cut it. You can bring your camera in. Bigger than that line. Quite a big piece left over there. Let's see, maybe I'll get some shots out. It's a lot lighter.
It's a lot less.
Relatively easy to get into position now.
Yeah.
That's two. And that can just sit there and. So we're in here, buy the finished product, well, nearly finished. But clearly once you've got it cut to the right size, your next job is to glue it on, and you glue it on with contact adhesive. And I think you can use just about any contact adhesive. I had a look around at different glues, and you see me use this stuff, this sealant that I use, the MS polymer sealant that I use, is from this company. German company, looks like Wico, but being German it must be Vico. And it's industrial strength, it's made for industrial applications. And then I saw that they make a contact adhesive, so because I've been very impressed with that MS polymer sealant and bonding sealant, I thought I'd use the same company, Vico contact adhesive. Well, I went for it. And then, you know, this is simple enough, isn't it? Contact adhesive is always the same. You put it on both sides. You put it on with a brush or a roller or even a spreader. You know, you could use something like that to spread it. Brush or a roller, whatever. Put it on both surfaces. Leave it until it's tack free, and then you've got to position your two surfaces, which is obviously your Formica and your wood, in exactly the right place. Once it's down, you can't move it around. So the trick there is to put some thin pieces of wood underneath, position it, and then just pull the battens out and stick the Formica down. There you go. Once you've got it down, remember you've cut all of these edges overhanging, and then just come along here. I then use a box cutter, X-Acto knife to just trim up those edges, finish it off with a sandpaper, and it comes out perfect. If you've got any holes in your worktop, like this one here, just you know, easy enough, stick the Formica over the hole and then get in there. I actually ran around loosely with a jigsaw. I could sort of stuck the knife through it, got the jigsaw in, run around roughly with the jigsaw and then just trimmed it up with the knife, as the same as the fronts. Comes out lovely. It starts to look quite good. And then, as you can see, the final stage is to start to get the fiddles around, which hide all of that edge except for the wipeout corners. Should get that cleaned up, a bit of varnish on the corners, but all the edges are hidden underneath fiddles. Will be around here, fiddles as well. Once I've got this bulkhead tiled, the fiddle will come up to the tile. So almost all the edges hidden, and the fiddle overlaps onto the Formica surface. So there's no danger of anything getting under there and lifting it off if that were possible. And you've got a good, hard-wearing, cheap worktop. And there you have it. That's the way I do it. There are more technical, more professional ways of doing it, no doubt, but in a way it's kind of in keeping with the build of this boat. It's simple and effective, we hope, using some fairly ordinary and low-tech tools, the sort of tools that everybody has around. Thanks for watching. I'll cut there. See you next time.